and cash and carry this December and enter to win free groceries for 1 year valued at $50,000. At Rams, you're always guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better service. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people. 'Tis the season to shop with your good food people at Rams. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
It's that time again. TDC Insurance is offering awesome deals in its holiday extravaganza. Buying a new car? Get up to 60% off your motor insurance, free windshield cover, 0% interest free, cashback, and so much more. Buying a house? Save up to 30% on home insurance and additional discounts if you pair with your new car. It's crazy this holiday season at TDC Insurance with our TDC Insurance Holiday Extravaganza. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. It is Monday, December 19, 2022. It is 10 minutes past the hour of 11 here in our studios. Thank you so much for joining the program for today. The phone lines will be open and you can call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That is 466-0989 or 762-0989. If you are in the UK, you can call us at 033-344-0065. That is 033-344-0065. If you are in the USA, you can call us at 718-285-6984. That is 718-285-6984. All right, the phone lines are open and we'll begin taking some calls right now. Let's take this first call for the morning. Caller, good morning. You are on Voices.
Good morning, Mr. Devon.
Good morning. How are you today?
Oh, today I am good today.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah, I'm a little bit gooder than yesterday.
That is really good. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, because I feel happy because my team that I was backing in the World Cup, they win. So I feel good. Well, I just called to wish you Merry Christmas and all the best for the rest of the year until the new year comes, and better things for the new year for your Cornelius.
All right, thank you so much. And same to
And
you and your family.
yes, thank you. And I also want to wish London calling the BBC happy birthday today. They are 90 years old. British Broadcasting Corporation. They started in 1932 on an AM band.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're celebrating 90 years today. So happy birthday to BBC. And I wish them better broadcasting in the future. And what's up with you now?
Well, all is well with me. Happy to be alive. Happy to be back. You know, I was out for some time. It was a short vacation. Of course, you know, even though we're working, we need the rest. But I'm back.
The referee. Sorry.
Sorry.
The referee count you out. You say you were out for some time.
Just a short vacation, you know, just to rest.
You lucky they didn't join you, towel.
Just to rest. But I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the Christmas season with certain things, so I just leave it and let nature take its course.
All right.
That is something on the political scene. So let me leave that so long.
All right. Well, Caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program.
Who you were backing in the World Cup?
Honestly, I wasn't even watching the World Cup, to be honest with you.
But you was heard in it?
Yes, I saw the Argentina came out on top, but I think everybody else except me was watching and following really closely. I was just checking on the WhatsApp statuses and Facebook statuses and listening to other people. So I kind of had an idea of what was going on indirectly, as I wasn't really paying much attention to it. Okay.
Well, thank God it went well, you know, without any violence and any riot anyway.
Yes, that's good.
And 100%, they receive it just perfect and good, and nobody have no button if and nobody cheat. And that is what I like, man. Fair game, fair play. You don't use no banned substance to beat me. Because if you use banned substance and you beat me, I mean, how are you going to sleep? You have a conscience. To know that you did that beat me, fear, with the way God make you. You had to use something to enhance your powers and your tactics and whatnot to beat me. No, man, no. Anyway, I'm going now, but hear this. Two old men were playing draft one time, you know. And they played mostly 6 games, and one win 5 and one win 1. And when you check out the one who win 5, he take drugs, you know. So the 5 that he win, they're null and void. Because he didn't beat the man of natural brains. Take what he take to beat the man. So therefore, what I'm saying is this. If you cannot beat a man perfect, like how God make you, don't do nothing. Anyway, all the best. You hear?
All right, you too, and thank you so much for your contribution to the program. You're listening to Voices on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host for today's edition, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the conversation for today. The phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Let's head back to the phone lines, and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Devon.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Devon, this morning I want to talk about the summit that was held in Washington by President Biden with 49 of the African leaders. Devon, I don't know how much people are paying attention to this summit that the African leaders were summoned to attend in Washington by Joe Biden. Now, for me, when I look at all that is happening with the war in Ukraine, with the presence of China and Russia on the African continent. America know that they were losing their footing on the continent due to the presence of China and Russia. Now, since the inception of Russia into Ukraine, America and Europe wanted to use South African President Cyril Ramaphosa as a mediator. And in not so many words, they've been trying to tell the African leaders to support Ukraine or else. Now, last week, 49 African leaders were summoned to be in Washington. And I use the word summon because when they say summit, sadly, our leaders jump to the whip of America. Now, here is it that Joe Biden have an agenda. My question is to the African leaders, do they have an agenda? Because when they're going to be invited or summoned to Washington, and for Biden to tell them, here's what you have to do in your country, to the benefit of whom? It is sad and it makes me weep today to see that our leaders, instead of standing on their grounds and making their own decision, they jump to the whip of Biden, going to America, to Washington, to listen to Biden tell them by America agenda for Africans. This is sad, Devon. This is so sad. It makes me weep to see our leaders, our African leaders, and even our leaders in the diaspora today, especially the fact that we are now at the seat. We are beggars. We are beggars, Devon. When we have everything at our fingertips, because make no mistake, Joe Biden knows what is at stake. They know what is at stake. And my question to our leaders, our African leaders, do you have an agenda? Because, when I start to pay attention to all these events that are unfolding, Devon, I always said on social media, Africans should make their deal on their own grounds. Stop all this China-Africa summit, this France-Africa summit, America-Africa summit. These are not summit, these are summoned. The UK-Africa summit, they summon our leaders and they go just for Photoshop. It has to stop, Devon. And again, remembering also, Devon, that they divided us and it worked for them. And they've been exploiting us. They're exploiting us with our minerals and they create wealth for themselves. We got to wake up and see what we have that belongs to us, given to us by our Creator, Devon, the land of milk and honey. Our leaders today have to join. We have to unify. Because they divided us and it worked for them. Devon, any African on this planet who remain silent are in danger to Africa. Let me repeat this. Any Africans who knows what is happening today and remain silent, they are in danger to Africa. And we are the salt of the earth, and they know it. And this misery that they put us on, they're only wanting to continue their agenda. So I say to our African leaders, wake up. Wake up and stand your ground and make your deal and your bargain on your continent. I don't know if you're following what is happening, Devon, but this is sad. That Joe Biden, in his age and stage, going to summon our leaders with his agenda and telling them, this is what you are supposed to do in Africa to benefit Americans. Thank you for hearing me, Devon.
And thank you, caller, for your contribution to this program. We'll take a short break now to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Let's take this break, and I'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Ram, the good food people, promises to make your holiday season a whole lot merrier and brighter. Simply shop at Ram Supermarket and Cash and Carry this December and enter to win free groceries for 1 year valued at $50,000. At Rams, you're always guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better service. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people. 'Tis the season to shop with your good food people at Rams. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Buying your medication is easy with City Drugstore's curbside pickup. WhatsApp our certified pharmacist at 662-8769 with your requests. For prescriptions, take a clear photograph and send for review. We will engage you in dialogue and then provide a quotation and link for payment. You can then pay via TDC's online payment portal. And once the transaction is complete, you'll be notified that your pickup is ready. Yes, it's that easy. Send your WhatsApp message to 662-8769 to order your medications today with City Drugstore's curbside pickup service.
Flow, jingle all the way home to Flow, where the speed is faster and price is better. All the way home to Flow, merry connections that bring us together, yeah.
Christmas starts the moment you bundle your Flow internet with your Flow mobile. Because when you do, you get a free laptop. Plus, you get 100 megabits per second internet speed, 20 gigabytes of data, 4,000 local minutes, and unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube. That's our Christmas jingling your way to keep family close for Christmas and every day.
All the way home to Flow.
Visit discoverflow.co for more information.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. It is Monday, December 19, 2022, and you're listening to Voices. The phone lines are open, and so we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That is 466-0989 or 762-0989. Call us today and be a part of this discussion. It is Voices, an opportunity for you to share your view, your opinion on matters of national interest, matters of national importance to us here in the country. Whatever it is happening in our society that you would want to or may want to bring to the attention of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, this is the opportunity to do so. You can also follow us on social media. Check out our Facebook page and YouTube channel at WINNMedia SKN, and of course our website for the latest in local, regional, and international. The website is www.winmediaskn.com. That is www.winmediaskn.com. Welcome back to Voices. I have a statement I want to share with you, and this is in connection to a video, or an audio rather, that was making the rounds on social media. And the statement is from the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force. This is dated the 17th of December. It says zero tolerance for all forms of domestic violence and threats against human life. On December 16, 2022, a video being circulated on social media was brought to the attention of Commissioner of Police Hilroy Brandy. In this video, a man is heard threatening a woman's life. He made the utterances to both the woman and a juvenile. The threats made were very unsettling, and the commissioner immediately instructed officers to move swiftly on the matter. The High Command wants to make it clear once again that the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force has a zero tolerance policy for all forms of domestic violence. There is also zero tolerance for threats made against the life of others. We condemn all such actions, and when related matters are brought to the attention of the organization, our officers will do whatever is possible within their powers under the law to bring the perpetrators of these crimes to justice. As a result of the actions of the officers charged to look into the matter, on December 16, 2022, 40-year-old Kevin Taylor of Upper Fines Avenue was arrested and charged with 2 counts of making use of threatening language. The offenses occurred on November 28th, 2022 and December 15th, 2022 respectively, and he remains in police custody. This statement is in relation to a video or an audio that had been making the rounds on social media with a voice that appears to be that of a man, threatening a woman and a juvenile. What the statement is stated, some serious threats, and appears to be domestic violence and all of that. And this was on the social media pages of social media influencers, and it has been brought now to the attention of the police force, and they have acted on it. Kudos to the police for doing such. If this situation was allowed to escalate, we don't know what would have happened today. We have some callers on the line. Let's head back to the phone lines and take this call. All right, I'm not getting that caller in. Please call us at 466-0989. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. The phone lines are open, so call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, Devon, I'm back. I want to support the High Commission of the Police for the quick action on what been circulating around. Mm-hmm. Because too long, you find domestic violence being in action, verbally and brutally, physically. And the victim go and make complaint to the police, and when the police go to investigate what is going on, and the police get the investigation documented, you find the victim now show up and say they want to go court, they ain't nobody with that, they want to go court. And that kind of movement about the victim, that is what does encourage a lot of these violence.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because the same one who beating up the victim, they're going to say, oh, see you want me go jail? Well, I'm going to bang you this and that. They may not tell them so, but they're going to use that opportunity to say, well, they're going to go to jail so they could do the victim, kind of thing. So it's good that the commissioner of police, he move on it quickly, very quick before it escalates and go further. And I wish that everybody, whether man get knocked out from woman or woman get knocked out from man, knocked out is knocked out. And when it comes to threatening your life, that ain't nothing to make a joke with. Sometime, I think it was last year or this year, in the West, when a man killed his girlfriend, it is said that she made complaint, and her friend made complaint too about that. And he also threatened his girlfriend friend. But somehow along the lines, some procrastination went on, and you see what it ended up to? The girlfriend get killed by the same individual, and then the individual also take his own life. So again, I commend the police, how police command to move as swiftly as you can and don't procrastinate. Any policeman procrastinating to do their duty, fire them. One time, go. So that's my little input again, Yvonne.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. And, you know, something you said there that it stood out. Oftentimes we hear of victims standing in the way of the law in the sense that they are in this situation, and whenever it is time for the police to intervene, they often say, well, I don't want this matter to go to court and all of that. The opportunity is there for help. And there are times when victims, they turn down the help. And of course, in some occasions, the unfortunate situation, the unfortunate happens. I'm not saying it is across the board for every single situation. That is not what I'm saying. But there are times when, you know, there are people who are trying to help. There are people who are trying to reach out, but perhaps some external forces or some internal forces, you know, people encouraging you not to push the matter or to go forward with the matter, and you yield into it, and then you're perhaps saying wherever you are, had I known, I would have ensured that the police were given the opportunity to do their jobs. And so the matter of domestic violence is a really serious matter. The sad thing is that some people don't take it seriously. Whether it be law enforcement or us as a people, don't take it seriously. We just see it as two spouses or two lovers or whatever we want to call it, you know, having a disagreement, and that's it. We don't see it as something serious, you know. And so, kudos to the police force for acting on this swiftly and getting this matter, let me say, close to rectified. Close to rectified. Allow the police to do their jobs. Allow them to work. I know oftentimes we would be harsh on the police and say, the police not doing this, the police not doing that, but allow them to do their job. As I said, perhaps most of you have heard the audio that was going on. Of course, that is not suitable for radio, but most of you have heard the audio making the rounds on social media, and some of the things said were just, you know, I can't even find the words to describe it. I can't find the words to describe it. And so I'm really happy. I'm pleased that the police got wind of this situation and that they were able to act on this. The phone lines are open and we are still taking your calls here on Voices. Call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That is 466-0989 or 762-0989. I'm your host for today's edition of Voices, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the conversation for today. If you have no calls right now, I'll take a short break to give a shout out to our sponsors. And when we come back, we will continue the discussion. Let's take this break and I'll be right back.
This holiday season, a loan from TDC Financial Services is for me and for you. Up to $85,000 for any purpose. So you know, top up for my food business, repairs on the house, and all the styles for Sugar Mass 51. And of course, sorting out my kids for back to school. Hear what my friend had to say about her experience.
Girl, I love to get my holiday loan at TDC Financial Services. It is less hassle and you get the loan fast.
So you see, TDC Financial Services is the place to get what you need this Christmas. A loan for me and a loan for you. Terms and conditions apply.
Flow, jingle all the way home to Flow, where the speed is faster and price is better. All the way home to Flow, merry connections that bring us together, yeah.
Christmas starts the moment you bundle your Flow internet with your Flow mobile. Because when you do, you get a free laptop. Plus, you get 100 megabits per second internet speed, 20 gigabytes of data, 4,000 local minutes, and unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube. That's our Christmas jingling your way to keep family close for Christmas and every day.
All the way home to Flow.
Visit discoverflow.co for more information.
Ram, the good food people, promises to make your holiday season a whole lot merrier and brighter. Simply shop at Ram Supermarket and Cash and Carry this December and enter to win free groceries for 1 year valued at $50,000. At Rams, you're always guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better service. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people. 'Tis the season to shop with your good food people at Ram. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Welcome back to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. It is 11:44 here in our studios for today, Monday, December 19, 2022. Welcome back to Voices. Now, the government is considering refinancing, among other options, to recoup $12 million in mortgage debt to the National Housing Corporation, NHC. And I'll share with you an article from the Government Information Service. It says the National Housing Corporation, NHC, working closely with the Ministry of Housing and Human Settlement, is considering refinancing options for homeowners who have fallen significantly behind on mortgage payments to NHC. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for housing, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, said, okay, I didn't know Dr. Hanley was responsible for housing. Okay. The Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley said the need for this intervention has become dire as many people who were given the privilege to own a home from NHC have deliberately shirked their responsibility to meet their financial obligations to the corporation. Quote, just about $12 million is out there to be collected from people who are not paying for their homes. That's not good enough, Madam Speaker, Dr. Hanley said Dr. Hanley as he addressed the Parliament on December 16 during the budget debate for the fiscal year 2023. Quote, things will have to be done, what is even more painful, when the workers at the institution, and all of them are working hard, will be making their calls to remind homeowners that you need to come in and pay. Some of them are bold enough to tell NHC workers, don't call back this number. Wow. Another disturbing discovery mentioned by the Deputy Prime Minister is that some homeowners have rented their NHC low-income homes and are collecting more than $1,250 per month from tenants. However, the owners have not paid the monthly $475 owed to NHC. Additionally, some homeowners opened bank accounts to facilitate payments to NHC, but subsequently closed them after a few months. That is not going to continue, said the Deputy Prime Minister. The Member of Parliament for St. Christopher I said that he was elected in August 2022 to make a difference in government and that he intends to live up to his commitments to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. In addition to refinancing options, Deputy Prime Minister Hanley said that he welcomes creative suggestions to address these issues that have ballooned over the past 7 years. He added that housing officials are willing to negotiate new payment packages to help families that genuinely need consideration. So you have a situation where people are getting these low-income homes and they are not paying for them. And so while the government may want to continue to provide affordable housing to our people, there are some who are making it worse for others. I can't believe you have a payment as low as $475 per month and you refuse to pay that. And when you are called to be reminded about your payment for the house, you are bold enough to tell, oh my gosh, you're bold enough to tell the worker to not call back your phone. That is really, really unfortunate. And so you have some people who are meeting the monthly obligation of paying for that NHC house. Meanwhile, you have others who, for whatever reason, refuse with their life to pay that. And so they're making the situation worse for others. But this is a disturbing revelation. Really, really disturbing. And then I don't understand it. Let's head to the phone lines and we're going to take some calls. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? And all the best for the season.
I'm doing good, thanks. And the same to you.
Yes, thank you. Well, in terms of the houses, right? Mm-hmm. This has been a problem for a very long time.
Yes, indeed.
And I have said before, right? In a lot of instances, the politicians are to be blamed. They are to be blamed because a vital need such as housing has been used as a political, some say football, for years. There are some people who get houses, they should not be qualified for one. Right? Like what was mentioned a while ago. Mm-hmm. Some of them get them and they put them on rent. Now, I am not saying anything against that because you can't tell, well, anyway, somebody will say, well, that is not personally theirs until they have paid off for it. So in terms of that, I don't know what they will do. But the thing about it is there are people who need houses who don't get, genuinely need of houses who do not get, and there are those who don't really need and they get.
Right.
Now, I have said years ago, and I'm going to keep on saying it, it doesn't matter which political party forms the administration, right? People need to understand that there is no such thing as a free anything. It has to be paid for. If you don't pay for it, somebody else might have to pay for it for you. And I mean, on a little island like this, I mean, we don't have lands and even houses. It takes money, it takes resources to build the houses. So I don't understand how some people think that they can get the houses and they don't pay for them. Regardless to who is in, the houses need to be paid for. In the end, it's yours. You pay for it, you own it in the end. This is not like when you rent in private. You could rent somebody's private house and in it for 15 years. At the end of it, you move away. You have nothing to show for it. But these houses you pay to earn. But again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say this again. The politicians are to be blamed because they give the citizens the impression, whether indirectly or directly, that, hey, if you do this, or if you do that, you come, you campaign for me, you go, you interfere with people, you this for me, for my thing, and I am going to give you a house. So when you look at it, the citizens feel now, some of them, I'm not saying all, well, I don't work for this. Me work hard for this. There's some who go and say, well, when me used to walk the street midnight and I pull down this and I burn down this for this representative, where you in be? Where you in there? I work hard for this. The citizens only are not to be blamed. The politicians also. And to me, it starts there. Mm-hmm. And because they know the mentality of the people, that's why you see they use these citizens this way. Because I don't take pride in saying this, Some of our citizens, they're very stupid, They're foolish, bad, they're ignorant, bad. Or they conveniently use ignorance. Maybe that's it too. Because when it suits them, they know what is right or they know what is wrong. When it concerns somebody else, they're wrong. And finally, before I go, maybe this needs investigation too. Because there are citizens who have paid and paid diligently over the months, maybe over the years. And when you look, they are called or they are whatever, they are told that they have not paid anything for their houses. But citizens have the receipt to show that they have paid. So if the citizens have paid, they have the receipt, and there is nothing in the system at NHC to show that these people have paid, where has the money gone? So some persons have to be investigated and let the chips fall where they may. The thing about it is, we need to understand that there needs to be order and there needs to be fairness and justice in a lot of things that we do. Yes, we are flesh and blood. I'm not saying that we are perfect, and a mistake will not happen. But willful, deliberate, malicious mistakes, so to speak, because some people feel like, well, oh, my representative in office, my prime minister in there, my party in there, nobody could do me nothing.
I think that's what the issue is.
No, that has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I think that's what the issue is.
Yes. And whomsoever is responsible at the time for taking the money from that person, because I believe on the receipt you should have somebody's signature. That person need to be made to pay back the money, or somebody go jail. Something needs to happen, otherwise this is not going to stop, because it's going to encourage, people out here who want to do the right thing. It will encourage a lot of them who are fickle mind to just fall and do this. Because I have heard in the past where people were saying, oh, they can't get no job, and there's the people who doing this and breaking the law, and they're getting along, and they're here, they're paying the taxes and whatever they can, and it seems like they have to go do the same to get. This is what is going to happen. I don't want this country to go down that road. I'm not saying that there's going to be perfection in society, but that is why there must be things put in place, not just have something on the books. And when I say laws, I mean sensible laws, because persons can use law to get at people. Because I always say there are some laws that are unjust. They make no sense. They're only oppressive and repressive to citizens. Some laws need to be looked at and thrown out. But I'm talking about the laws that are there to govern, society in such a way that you have persons, live and let their brother and their sister live also. Everybody needs to live. Not one sector is being oppressed and repressed, and somebody else is just getting through. And if the ball is turned, then this sector starts to benefit, and somebody, no. I, as a citizen here, like I said, I don't have no citizenship to go nowhere else. Anything happen here, me get in the box and kick in my face. I want to see things go right for me and my future, and for others too. So me, I do my utmost. I mean, me from old school, I was raised by a grandmother.
Right.
You see? I was raised by a grandmother. So, to tell you the truth, I cannot let go what I was taught. They are ingrained in me. So to the best of my ability, me ain't here to support no wrong. It could be my own. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. What belongs to you, you must get. Nobody should deprive you of it. And at the same time, they think that what belongs to them, they must get it because they will fight and curse for it. But at the same time, they want to deny and refuse somebody from getting what is rightfully theirs. That can't be right. It is not right in the sight of God, and it's not right in the sight of man. I don't care how man tries to say it is right. If it is wrong, it is wrong. And Mr. Cornelius, you have a blessed day.
All right, you too.
Thanks for tuning in my call.
And thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. It is 11:58, and you're listening to Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. We break at 12 for the headline news, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation right here on Voices. It is a beautiful Monday morning. It is the 19th day of December 2022. Interesting observations and comments made there by the caller. The one for me that stood out was the politicians, the politics of it. There's some people who, have this mindset that if they're given a house, the house is free. Perhaps forgetting, or in some cases deliberately forgetting, that they have to pay for this house. And they feel this sense of that they're entitled to get the house because they perhaps were on the campaign trail, and it's fine, you get a house, but you must pay for it. And if you're gonna get a low income house and you're being called to make your monthly payments, and you're not even trying to be as accommodating as possible, you're not even saying, okay, I'll bring this piece, I'll bring that. You are boldly saying to people who are calling you not to call your phone, and you will not pay for it. And so it's an issue. It will be great if they can get this issue rectified. The deputy prime minister said that this will not continue, and perhaps they're gonna put in whatever measures to ensure that it doesn't continue. But it has it has sadly become the norm where people get government low-income homes based on who they support. And so if you know your party is in power and you are there foot to foot, nothing wrong with getting a home. Let me put that out there. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you getting a home. But if you ain't gonna pay for it, I mean, come on. And then there are people out there who really need a home. There are people out there who are willing to pay. Maybe they're not as, in a good position financially to people. They're willing to make the payments. They're willing to make the sacrifices to ensure that they can pay for the house, and they are denied the opportunity. That is really unfortunate. It is 12 noon, and so now we break for the headline news. When we come back, we'll continue Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. Let's take this break, and I'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
You have the keys to your new car this Christmas? Now it's time to get it insured. Visit Dede Baldwin, agents for Caribbean Alliance Insurance, to save up to 65% off your motor insurance premium. All new clients are eligible for major discounts. Plus, there's lots of sweet prizes to be won. Switch and save and get in on the action. Visit us today in St. Kitts or Nevis, or give us a call at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Promotion ends December 31st, and all quotes are valid until January 31st. Drive secure this Christmas with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Terms and conditions apply.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We're encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans, ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the following locations: in Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and the Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. In St. Kitts, every second and fourth Tuesday at the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Dieppe Bay. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottles, flatware, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. So think smart. Take PAT, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WINNFM News, I am Devon Cornelius. In our headlines, 5 individuals sworn in as cabinet ministers for new Nevis Island administration. Across the region, ruling party in Antigua holds major event late Monday that will signal the official state of its re-election. The details of these and other stories straight ahead. The inauguration ceremony of the elected and nominated ministers of Nevis was held on Sunday afternoon, December 18, 2022, at the El Quemido T. Willett Park in Charlestown to mark the commencement of a new 5-year term for the Nevis Island administration. 6 days after the Nevis Island Assembly elections won by the Concerned Citizens Movement CCM, 4 males and 1 female each took the ministerial oath of office and oath of secrecy as they now chart the way forward for the island. The Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley is the Premier of Nevis and will oversee the Ministry of Finance, Statistics, Economic Planning, Human Resources, Industry, Trade and Consumer Affairs, Tourism, Public Utilities and Energy, Foreign Investments, Government Information Service, and Nevis Television. The Honorable Eric R. Evelyn is the new Deputy Premier of Nevis. He is responsible for the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Natural Resources, Fisheries, Cooperatives, Culture, and Housing. The Honorable Spencer Brand has been assigned the portfolios of the Ministry of Communications, Works, Water Services, Physical Planning and Environment, Posts, Labor and Disaster. The Honorable Lieutenant Troy J.T. Liebert returns to government as a senator. He has ministerial responsibility for the Ministry of Education, Information Technology, Library Services, Youth and Sports. The lone female, the Honorable Merville Janelle Nisbet, was sworn in for the first time as a senator. She has responsibility for the Ministry of Health, Gender Affairs, Community Affairs and Social Services. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, during his inaugural address encouraged both the youth and the elderly to work together with the government to ensure the best way forward for Nevis.
A blind eye to abuse, corruption, or obstruction wherever it arises. We must all be committed to the task of building a better Nevis for all. We have much work to do, and tomorrow the work begins. There are jobs to be created, schools to be built, roads to be repaired, a hospital to be outfitted. But this cannot be done by the government alone. As a small island state, our resources are stretched and limited. We will need the help of our greatest resource, the strength, courage, creativity, and tenacity of our people. In the days, weeks, and months ahead, we will need to utilize the untapped energy of our elderly and the boundless talents of our youth. We pledge, as a new government with a fresh mandate, to work with you hand in hand, engaging you every step of the way. We propose to consult and together to forge the best way forward.
The government, according to the Premier, will seek in the new term to create a better economic and social environment for the citizens and residents of Nevis, but suggested that when the people have climbed up the ladder, they should not focus on what they have, but should also aim to encourage and uplift others.
In the term ahead, my government pledges to create a social and economic order that will enable the destitute and marginalized to climb the economic ladder out of poverty. Our objective here will be to help such ones to enjoy a better life and reap the fruits of the promise of our island and our nation. But in our quest for social and economic mobility, we should never allow ourselves to be defined by our possessions, as so often has become the case. Our possessions should never become the measure of our worth and our lives. We should not only endeavor to leave our children or our loved ones a big bank account, big house, or fancy car. We should seek to bequeath them a sense of what is right and wrong, what it means to be a loyal friend, a loving parent, and good neighbors. Today, I implore you to seek common good with all men, to defend all that is right, just, and decent.
The Premier also expressed gratitude to all individuals who played an integral role in ensuring the CCM's success at the polls.
Thanks to Jehovah God for allowing me the strength to stand here today. Thanks to my team for their hard work. Thanks to the people of Nevis for their consistency in reposing their trust and confidence in us. Thanks to our elected officials for ensuring that the election was free and fair and the result reflective of the true will of the people of Nevis. Our democracy in Nevis is alive and well, and for that we must all be proud.
The Concerned Citizens Movement won 3 of 5 seats at the Monday, December 12 Nevis Island Assembly elections. The party won Districts 1, 2, and 3, thus returning to Cabinet. Alexis Jeffers did not return to Cabinet, having lost to Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge in District 4. Hazel Brandy Williams also did not return as Senator, as she tendered her resignation prior to the election.
This is the Carib Update News Service. I'm Wendy Chateau reporting. Ruling party it's Monday that will signal the official state of its re-election bid. This is the big story we're tracking this hour on Monday, December 19, 2022. Details of this story and more straight ahead. Now for the details. The ruling Antigua Labour Party holds a major event in St. John's Monday night, billed as its re-election campaign launch, but at which many predict a date for the next poll could be announced. On Friday, Prime Minister Gaston Brown asked the island's Governor-General to prorogue the Parliament. Monday's event features performances from top entertainers from across the region, including Christopher Martin and Skinny Fabulous. The major parties have already begun publishing online advertisements. The main challenge from the Antigua Labour Party is expected to come from the United Progressive Party, headed by Harold Lovell. A new cabinet for the local government in Nevis has been sworn in following elections there a week ago. A swearing-in ceremony took place at Charleston on Sunday. Reinstalled Nevisian Premier Mark Brantley has promised more inclusivity in the new term.
I want to assure all Nevisians, especially those who voted for my opponents, that their views, opinions, advice, and criticisms will be welcomed and will always be given due consideration. I am the Premier not only for those who voted for me, but for all who call Nevis their home. Though we may have won the majority of seats and the popular vote, We were not given a license to victimize or marginalize those who oppose us. We are forever mindful that democracy is the rule by the majority, but not at the tyranny of the minority.
The Univision premiere called for all hands on deck in building a better society.
We have much work to do, and tomorrow the work begins. There are jobs to be created, schools to be built, roads to be repaired, a hospital to be outfitted. But this cannot be done by the government alone.
A report on conditions of Jamaican farm workers in Canada, deemed unacceptable earlier this year, has been completed and is now being analyzed. Jamaican farm workers in Canada were pulled from 4 farms this year because of what were deemed unacceptable conditions. Labour Minister Kyle Samuda established a special fact-finding team in September after being urged to investigate the conditions under which many Jamaicans were working on some Canadian farms. President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, Helen Davis White, who chairs the 7-member team, told Radio Jamaica News on Friday that she received the report Thursday night. She says the fact-finding team is working to complete their analysis of findings and recommendations by the end of 2022. This is Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service. In more news, former FTX chief executive Sam Bankman-Fried is expected to appear in court in the Bahamas on Monday to reverse his decision to contest extradition to the United States, where he faces fraud charges, a person familiar with the matter said on Saturday. The 30-year-old cryptocurrency mogul was indicted in federal court in Manhattan on Tuesday and accused of engaging in a scheme to defraud FTX customers by using billions of dollars in stolen deposits to pay for expenses and debts, and to make investments for his crypto hedge fund, Alameda Research LLC. His decision to consent to extradition would pave the way for him to appear in U.S. court to face wire fraud, money laundering, and campaign finance charges. Upon arrival in the United States, Bankman-Fried would likely be held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, though some federal defendants are being held at jails just outside New York City due to overcrowding at the facility, said defense lawyer Zachary Maguilis-Onuma. Trinidad's Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, says everything was back to normal in Piaco International Airport after a bomb scare on Saturday, which ultimately proved to be unfounded. The airport's authority said that after an anonymous threat at 3 p.m. against flight BW1832 to Tobago, the passenger holding and check-in areas were cleared as a precaution, but no threat was found, resulting in operations resuming by 5:45 p.m. This has been another edition of Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service, the Caribbean's newsroom. I'm Wendy Chateau reporting.
In the past half hour, the Home Office has won a legal challenge against its policy of sending some asylum seekers to Rwanda. Migrant charities and some of the people affected by the scheme had brought the claim, arguing the government had no right to fly people to the African nation. It's expected the ruling will be appealed. A judge has also ordered the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, to re-examine a number of individual cases. Let's speak to our Home Affairs correspondent, Dominic Casciani. Dominic, welcome to you. Just explain this ruling to us and what it means.
Samantha, this ruling is absolutely huge for the government. I mean, it is. You cannot underestimate how important it is for the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, and her predecessor, Priti Patel, and for the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, to have won today at the High Court, because winning today actually, in theory, in their words, in their minds, makes it easier for this policy to ultimately come about. Now, I've got to be frank, we're going to have layers of appeals after today, possibly all the way to the Supreme Court, which could take some time. But the fact is, the High Court today, 2 judges, including one appeal court judge, have said that the government does have the legal powers to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. Now, we haven't had time to go through this absolutely mammoth judgment in depth, but what I can tell you is about how this case effectively played out back in September when it was fully reviewed. In essence, what the claimants were saying, they were a mixture of individual migrants who'd arrived on small boats from France, plus a number of NGOs and charities. They'd argued that the Home Secretary didn't actually have the power to send anyone to Rwanda to have their asylum claims dealt with there. And secondly, even if she did have that power, choosing that particular country had been an irrational thing to do because, in the words of the UN Refugee Agency, it didn't have the capacity or the safeguards in place to ensure that any migrants sent under this controversial scheme could be properly cared for and their cases could be processed. What the High Court has said today is the contrary to that. It said that the Home Secretary does indeed have the power to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. So in essence, if people basically come to the UK in small boats, seek asylum, as things currently stand under this High Court ruling, the Home Secretary can say, well, you could be basically relocated to Rwanda and have your case dealt with there by Rwanda. And if you're found to have a genuine case to be a refugee, Rwanda will give you settlement or look after you, and we will help to pay for that. Now, that is a really important victory. However, at the same time, just to slightly complicate matters, the 8 individuals involved in this case, individual migrants on the small boats, each of them has won the right to have their case reassessed because the court said, in effect, their cases had not been properly considered by the Home Secretary's officials. That means that those individual cases go back into the system to be reconsidered for a possible removal flight to Rwanda at some date to be fixed in the future. But in essence, the game is on for the Home Secretary and the Home Office. They have basically got control of this, and in theory, they could start making moves now to say, well, we want to resume this. It's all subject to whether it goes to the Court of Appeal in January.
Yeah, and so if that happens, lots of ifs and buts here, but what do we know about time frame at this point, Dominic?
Well, it's very difficult to say, Samantha. Let's just go back to the beginnings of this. It was last April when the former Home Secretary, Priti Patel, said we're going to start sending some asylum seekers to Rwanda to have their cases dealt with there. And the cohort there was basically people arriving on small boats from France. That led to a proposed removals flight, which basically had a jet on the runway ready to take people to Rwanda in June. That flight was stopped after effectively an extraordinary legal battle all the way to the European Court of Human Rights over a number of days to basically put injunctions in place. And the European Court and Strasbourg has said, hang on a second, nobody should be removed to Rwanda until the High Court has actually ruled on the lawfulness of the whole scheme. So we're now at that stage where the High Court has ruled that the scheme is lawful, but appeals can take time. Now, the 2 judges in court today, they've told the parties to come back on the 16th of January for a fuller hearing as to whether they wish to appeal. It's pretty certain that the losing parties, the NGOs, the charities, they will seek to appeal this. We don't know whether the government will seek to appeal losing on the individual cases. If that case is admitted into the Court of Appeal, because effectively permission has to be given from judges for that to happen, it could be maybe months before the Court of Appeal hears that. And then you've got the possibility of the case getting into the Supreme Court if there's a really important point of law which still needs thrashing out. That, well, I don't know, but it could take us into the summer or maybe the autumn of next year. So you can see that this could be a very, very long process. And while that's going on, it seems that things are in limbo. But in effectively legal terms at the moment, the government has definitely got the upper hand on the principle of making the Rwanda scheme work. And that's also politically important because the government wants to try and strike deals with other countries. And if it can strike deals with other countries on the basis of being told today it's got the green light, in theory, for Rwanda, well, who knows where this is going to lead in the year to come.
And at the moment, what are the circumstances around who they decide can be deported?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, under the scheme, anybody who comes through a safe third country where the government believes they should have claimed asylum in that country could be allocated to this scheme. So the perfect example here are small boats, the dinghy migrants, those people who are risking their lives coming across the channel. In this case, there were the cohort of migrants who were allocated to this first aborted flight involved people who'd made quite long and lengthy journeys across Europe. From memory, I recall that one of the migrants had actually initially tried to ask Greece if they could stay there. I may be wrong if they actually got into the final case here in court. It's been rather complicated. But in essence, it's about those migrants seeking asylum who've made journeys across Europe to seek asylum in the UK. Now, what their supporters say is that international law, the Refugee Convention, is absolutely clear that they have the right to do that, because if they are effectively directly coming to the UK, even if they're kind of stopping off en route because they've got good reason to come to the UK, perhaps they have family here already, then that's a good reason to allow them to come to the UK and claim asylum. Under this scheme, however, the Home Secretary says, your case is one of the cases I'm going to send to Rwanda. We're not denying you the right to seek asylum. It's just you're going to have that right dealt with in Rwanda under this scheme, where we've paid the Rwandan government about 120 million, a little bit more by now, to manage those cases. And that's why it's so controversial, because Israel's tried something similar but then kind of aborted the policy after a year or so. So there are a lot of countries looking at the UK to see whether they can make this work.
OK, Dominic Casciani, thanks for taking us through that at the High Court there. Thank you.
That was the WINFM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We are encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans, ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every second and fourth Tuesday each month at the following locations in St. Kitts: the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Deep Bay. In Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, Ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottle, flatware set, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Merry Christmas.
'Tis the season to save with Delayed Wellman and Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Purchasing a new car this Christmas? Save up to 65% off. Yes, that's 65% off your motor insurance premiums. Switch and save.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Fresh Look Paint and Tiles sale. Give your home a fresh look with a fresh coat of paint and a fresh set of tiles. From Horswood's Building and Evil Center's 25% off Fresh Look Paint and Tiles sales event. Yes, come to Horswood's Building and Evil Centers today and get fresh savings of 25% off all paints and tiles all-wide. Come and give your home a fresh new look with fresh savings and fresh new colors. Fresh new piles of tiles in all styles with a fresh 25% off store-wide on all paints and tiles at Horswood's Building and Evil Center. Give your home a fresh start with a fresh new look with fresh new colors, fresh new piles of tiles in all styles, and fresh quality paint at Horswood's Building and Evil Center. Fresh Look 25% off paints and tiles sales event. See store for details.
Welcome back to Voices here on WinFM 98.9. It is 12:34 here in our studios. Thank you so much for joining the program. We are live on social media, so you can check out our social media platforms at WINNmedia SKN. That is our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. As I was saying before the news break, with regards to the steps being taken by the Deputy Prime Minister, who is responsible for housing, yes, there are people who make it bad for others. You have a situation where there are people who can afford to pay for their homes. There are young men and women who would be able to qualify, who are willing to pay, who need a home. But maybe they didn't wear the right color shirt during whatever campaign, and so they don't get that opportunity. With a debt of $12 million owing to NHC, with a debt of $12 million owing to NHC, that suggests that people have not been paying for their homes for quite some time. People have not been paying for their homes for quite some time, and that is rather unfortunate. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a unexpected break. So I was saying, with the situation with the housing, a debt of $12 million. But I don't even know what to say about that. That of $12 million. I mean, it's like people get these homes and they don't even make one payment. And so they make it worse. They make the situation bad for everybody else. They get these homes and they don't pay for it at all. Then there was a concern raised by a caller who said, what about people who pay, but when you check the system, you are not seeing any proof of payment? And so you, as the person who had been paying the mortgage, you have your receipts. You have your receipts to prove that you have been paying for that house. But when they check the system, they're not seeing any proof of that. Well, that's a matter for the police and that department or whoever to sort out. But what I'm trying to get down to is, people make it worse for others. There's some people who really want a house. There's some people who would qualify. There's some people who are willing to make that sacrifice, but they don't get that opportunity. And those who are given the opportunity take advantage of it. They ain't paying for their house. They are not. It's really, really unfortunate. We have some callers on the line, and so we're gonna begin taking some calls this afternoon. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm blessed, sir. And I hope you have a good season when you come.
Yes, thank you, and same to you.
You and your family?
Wait, caller, before you proceed, you have to turn off the radio. I'm getting some feedback.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, Mr. Cornelius. The last caller there before you go on break, she made it absolutely clear 100% the politician is who have our people suffer. Because some of us get houses and we do not want to pay for it. When we know we should be supposed to be paying to the government our house and land tax, and we doesn't. And all of the default does come from the politician and even from some of us who back a party. Because we normally say, oh, is my government in office, is my minister in constituency 2, is who telling me to do these things. But I'm not going to call the person name. Because I could remember when I used to work over at a certain place, there was a gentleman who was in charge of constitution. And he used to owe the government money, electricity. And when they go to cut off his lights, he'll call the minister. And the minister will call and tell them to put back on the lights. That is where the wrong and thing does come from. So it is not just going on now, it's going on from since I get to know myself as a person that's behind politicians. But I never want to go and do exactly what some does and get away. I also feel we have to respect each other in whatever a politician might help us to do, but we have to respect the politician. But we doesn't have no respect for politicians, for nobody, but to do it ourselves and to do the people talk and say, well, oh, you only going to answer because of this. But the last caller, she made it absolutely clear that it is the fault of all the politicians. So when the Deputy Prime Minister is coming on and speaking about these things, he know who are these people doing it, but they don't want to come out and say, who are these people?
Well, but caller, you've made a really good point there. As I stated earlier, yes, there are people who are in a position to pay for these homes, but I guess they tell themselves, well, this is my administration, and so I am not going to pay for it. And then there's some others who have the mentality that, well, the government ain't gonna send me out of a house. We don't really hear about government evicting people from homes and all of that. And so I guess it's the mentality of the people that tell themselves, even though they get a low-income house, they just refuse to pay for it.
Definitely. They're supposed to go out, look a job so that they're able to pay for the house that the government helped them with.
But not only that, caller, not to cut you off, sorry, you should not get a house if you don't have a job. We are hearing of instances where people are getting homes and they're not employed. And yes, while I understand that housing is a necessity, if you're not working away, you're not supposed to get in a house, because how you going to pay for it?
Only if you have a family overseas trying to assist you and say, well, look, you're not working, I'm able to help you with a little mortgage so you could, your name could come off the road and say, oh, the politician. But in the family outside, will try and help you to pay for your mortgage. So that when we come home, we'll be able to know where to stay. But we're supposed to go out and look ourselves a job and do the best of our ability to maintain a house what the government give us to help ourselves. And the politician is the fault of it.
Right.
I'm not going to say one politician, all politicians is the fault of each person's behavior in the federation.
All right.
Keep up the good work you are doing so. And if some people should come out and speak out the exactly what we think about going on in this federation, the place will come better. Because I also tell people before I get on the radio and speak, I also listen to the callers them, because for you to be a good speaker, you have to listen attentively to know exactly what someone said before you could go and criticize. You all have a nice day.
All right, you too, caller, and thank you so much for your contribution to this program. The phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. You can also follow this program via the internet. You can check out our social media platforms and our Facebook page and our YouTube channel at WINNMedia SKN. This is Voices for Monday, December 19, 2022. It is 46 minutes past the hour, 12:46 or so, about 40 minutes to the 1 o'clock hour here in our studios for today, and we are taking your calls. So, yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. I mean, you're not working. You should not be given a house if you don't work anywhere. I mean, how are you going to pay for that house? Are you going to give somebody a house hoping that they're going to get a job next week or next month? Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. What about you?
Good. I'm doing good. My name is Lincoln David Pell. I just want to say, especially, I know I was in the candidate for there, but for the entire nation, especially for those in Constituency 7, I wish you God's blessings and peace for this Christmas season. Let us conduct ourselves in a peaceful manner. Remember, this season is for sharing and to share love and to receive.
Absolutely.
And to be kind to each other. And at the same time, those who are going to be taking part in the carnival, do so in peace. Those who are going to be giving thanks and praise to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To do so and pray for our fellow men and for our nation, because our nation needs peace. And I just want to make sure that our nation be the nation that it could be and be the best for our people and our people to benefit from it. Like I was saying, there's an American dream. Let us see 2023, we have a sacred dream realized for a lot of persons hoping for that dream, including you, my friend.
Thank you.
Including you, because I think only peace and the presence of Jesus Christ in our nation can make sure that all of us will do the right thing. I realize the topic what you have in here, but like I said, I mentioned, if you're for good, you do good. But even if persons, and as one of the callers might have mentioned, sometimes you have to blame persons. Say, I'm giving you something when it's supposed to be, I'm assisting you to get something.
Right.
So we'll only hope that for the New Year persons will do the correct thing. Remember, it was not given to you because it was a gift. It was an assistance to help. And all of us will put our hands together. Remember, the scriptures also talk about being industrious. If we do not work, certain persons will benefit. And those who are not even working, they themselves wouldn't benefit. So I hope that for the new year, all of us will recognize it's for all of us to do the work for our own benefit. And once again, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who listened to me during this such time. But remember, this is a time to give God praise and thanks for his son who was born at this time. So let us remember it as such and be loving and kind to our fellow men. It doesn't matter who that person is. And congratulations to those persons who would have taken part in the Immediate Island Assembly elections, those who are part of the government and those who are not. So everybody who would have won and those who not even won but also were participated and those everyone who make sure we had a peaceful election campaign in Immediate. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope everyone who under the sound of my voice would let us make this Christmas season a good one where peace abounds. And even though you're enjoying yourself in the carnival, let peace abound, because I know sometimes revelers get itchy when something happens.
More groceries. Triple that cash back today at Hosford. Triple the savings. Triple the free groceries. Triple the extraordinary. Triple that never-ending cash back today. See store for details.
Welcome back to Voices. Let's head back to the phone as we take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Please call us back at 4660989 or 7620989. Welcome back to Voices. So, to continue where I left off from, with the statement from the. Okay, let me hold that thought. Let me hold that comment, and I'll take this caller. Caller, good afternoon. You are on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. And you?
Yeah, so far so good. It could be worse. Season greetings to you, but the caller before you made a troubling statement, and you see, I'm very concerned about those kind of statements concerning getting houses from government and ministers and all that. Our thinking is, oh my gosh, it's sad to see the direction of which we are going. Our thoughts and our expectations should not be dependable on the politicians to provide houses, even though they do. They provide houses like the card in home. That's what they should provide for you. If you cannot afford to look after yourself, provide you with the card in home. The other thing, that's where you check in for free. It don't cost you anything to go in there. But when you have to pay, you have to be able to be the payment of the material that you purchased and put the house together, whether you're going to do it piece by piece or not. So the whole thing is that...
Okay, caller. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Please call us back at 4660989 or 7620989. Just before that caller came in, just to continue the article here from the Government Information Service, it says, in addition to refinancing options, Deputy Prime Minister Hanley said that he welcomes creative suggestions to address these issues that have ballooned over the past 7 years. He added that housing officials are willing to negotiate new payment packages to help families that genuinely need consideration. Quote, I'm going to seek the honorable members of this house to share their ideas as to how we would be able to fix this, because at the end of the day, the country belongs to all of us, said Dr. Hanley. The challenges have stunted the ability of the NHC to reinvest funds into new housing projects for deserving families. And so these challenges, are preventing the NHC from providing more housing opportunities for people who actually need a home. That is unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate. Just a few minutes before the 1 o'clock hour, and you're listening to Voices here on WINFM 98.9. Thank you so much for your contribution to this program. Just about a half an hour left before we wrap up the discussion for today. It is Christmas and people are enjoying this season. Everybody's having a good time. It's Christmas, it's Carnival, returning nationals, meeting with family and friends. It's a good time to be alive. Let's head over to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
It's a pleasant good afternoon to you.
And how are you doing today,
You
caller?
can hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I need more fun here. Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, dear. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes. Yes, I would let them really to pay for the houses then. Whether you're backing a party, yes or not, you get a house, pay for it. Because if have people outside there, they like to get a house too. I have a son, and he trying everything to get a house, and he cannot get a house. They got him, and they must skin him like a cat. All kind of information they want. They even threaten him and all on top of value him and all on top of Social Security, which is, he have a long time to get Social Security. That's how they do. People who want to pay cannot get. And when they get, they pay. They need to pay for the house because somebody else out there wants one.
Mm-hmm.
I get one, and I don't care who I was backing. I ain't put that in front, no party. I went and I paid for my house because when I finish pay off for it, it is mine. Nobody else wants but mine. So pay for all your house. People else out here want and who willing to pay right now in a jam. And do not let it got skin miss son like a cat for people who ain't want to pay the mortgage. He will in the house and he cannot get one because of bad payment out here. And they just stop skin miss son and they pay the house. You are one bless.
You too, and thank you so much for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Voices here on WINFM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the program. The phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. The numbers are 466-0989 or 762-0989. This is Voices for Monday, December 19, 2022. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. A caller, you are on the air. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. You had lunch?
Not as yet.
Well, maybe you decide to eat a stesso sandwich. No, concerning the topic here with these people who get house and refuse to pay. They're not gonna pay for the house that is taking rain and sun off of them. But other, make them call the name of the other organization, them, but other organization, them, check them out. One day of the week, you see how much money they're paying for this and paying for that and paying for that. Just because they want other people in that organization to say, oh, I see you in this and I see you in that. And you give amount for this and I give amount for that. Well, my thing is this. There are two business exist in the world. One of them begin with a P, and the other one begin with a B. That's pleasure and business. And the two of them could live in the same apartment, but one got more than the other one. You know what one more? Pleasure got more than business. Mm-hmm. Because pleasure don't want to contribute nothing. Just take up and go and have pleasure. While business out there, busting his skin and his head, hustling and bringing in something, pleasure just in there waiting to destroy him. And wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have you have something, you have an obligation to make sure you pay the people them. You only don't pay if you go over the solid waste and you take up a whole piece of thing out there and you make your house out of sardine pan and milk can and cigarette box. Because it's other people money, sacrificial money. You using, they use to build a house for you in there. And nobody should watch no face and say, well, she do this to me and he do that to me. And no, I don't agree with that. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. I applaud you when you're right. When you're wrong, I punish you. Do like them other countries way out there. They're making a joke with nobody. Don't care who you may be. When you're wrong, they expose you and they deal you. So my thing is that all who know the go and pay the government the money, man. Pay it up. Because you bad pay. Nasty, dirty, lazy, worthless pay. Refuse to pay. You're going to make it bad for somebody who is honest and sincere and willing to pay and will pay. The one, you don't stay too long before you eat, okay?
All right, Carla.
Because, I mean, gas going up in there, you will make a lot of money for your gas, but it will kill you.
I know.
and I want that happen, so.
No, man.
All the best, you take care of yourself, brother.
All right, you too. And all the best for the season.
Yes, man. Again, same return to you, man.
All right, take care. Carla, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 4 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. And you're listening to Voices for Monday, December 19. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the program for today. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Call us today and be a part of the conversation. Let us head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm trying to look.
Wait, before you continue, caller, you have to turn off the radio. There's a lot of feedback in the air.
I'm trying to get a number to get at Calvin Hazel, the preacher, Calvin Hazel.
Calvin who?
Got an idea about a number for him?
No, I'm not familiar with the person. I'm sorry.
Calvin Hazel, no preacher Calvin Hazel?
No, I don't.
Baptist Church?
No, I'm sorry.
All right, okay, have a good day.
All right, you too, thank you so much. I'm sorry, Carl, I'm not familiar with who that person is. It is 105 here in our studios, and you are listening to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Call us and be a part of the discussion. Lend your voice to the discussion, your concerns, issues, suggestions, and how to move forward, the way forward here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's all aimed at making our country a better place, you know. I when people make their contribution, I listen to people, whether you are criticizing, whether you're criticizing or whether you are praising or you're saying, hey, I think you should try this instead of that. I think the government should do this instead of that. Or I applaud the government for making this step. Or I don't think the government should have done that. It's absolutely fine. But you are lending your voice to, let me say, to the cause. You are making meaningful contributions. You are making great contributions. You understand? And so let me say thank you so much for that. I'll take a short break to acknowledge the sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue Voices right here on WINFM 98.9.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Fresh Look Paint and Tile Sale. Give your home a fresh look with a fresh coat of paint and a fresh set of tiles. From Holtzwood's Building and Evil Center's 25% off Fresh Look Paint and Tile Sales event. Yes, come to Holtzwood's Building and Evil Centers today and get fresh savings of 25% off all paints and tiles store-wide. Come and give your home a fresh new look with fresh savings and fresh new colors. Fresh new piles of tiles in all styles with a fresh 25% off store-wide on all paints and tiles at Holtzwood's Building and Evil Center. Give your home a fresh start with a fresh new look with fresh new colors, fresh new piles of tiles in all styles, and fresh quality paint at Horswood's Building and Evil Center. Fresh Look 25% off paints and tiles sales event. See store for details.
Welcome back to Voices right here on WINFM 98.9. It is 11 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour here in our studios. It is Monday, December 19, 2022. I'm your host for today's edition of Voices, Devon Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining the program. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, Devon boy, sorry, I can't stay away, you know. No, I'm going to show you something.
Mm-hmm.
When people say, well, okay, they're sorry for people or they don't want to squeeze them, they don't turn on and make them look bad. That's why the elders say when you play with puppy, they lick him out. When you don't discipline your child in your home, when they get out in the public, they carry the behavior where you let them get away in the home with, and they embarrass you in the public. Now, no politician, ministers ever sit down in no government office as a cashier. None. There are people they put in position who they think is trustworthy. That's why they get the job. But then those now who the politicians think are trustworthy, they are the ones who let these problems pile up. And as they pile up, the blame pointing, hey, the politician, he give me a house, she give me a house, they give me a house. Yes, they ain't give you. They assist you to get one for you to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And those now who are supposed to certify your application, they are the ones to be blamed. And the name should be called out. And make them pay all the money what they owe. Visit the place, Cross Care Street, 1840. I was in charge of a warehouse when I was living in St. Thomas, and that warehouse used to sell sodas, local sodas make there, called Brow. And it was in a big complex. He had many businesses in the complex, and the boss man tell me, anybody in the complex want to come to buy one of them soda, they just sell them half price. I said, that's reasonable for them, man. But it had two good friends of me. We are working not in the same place, in the same business, but the same complex. When they come and they start, they say, well, okay, cultural boy, let me have this and let me have that. I said, okay, man, because I know it's weekend, all of us getting paid. And the business is not mine. But I notice we come lapping over week and lapping over week. And they coming back want to just, I said, okay, I put up a sign in there. You know what the sign say? This morning at 8, Mr. Credit was murdered by Mr. Trust. And when Mr. Freeman heard about that, he taking a heart attack. And from that, they start to pay, you know. They start to pay because I wasn't making a joke with them. Business is business.
Mm-hmm.
You got to discipline people, let them know, man, no, me and you could be good friend if you do what you do it. But as long as you ain't going to do what you do it, me and you're not going to be good friend.
Mm-hmm. Cool
Cool as that. So, those people are who allow these things to happen. And it's a shame. Shame, shame, shame. Because if Devon want a house now, Devon is working. You have proof to show whether you're getting X amount, weekly, monthly, or whatever it is. But because you name Devon and you and this individual not close up and friend up, they're going to get you going around and all kind of red and yellow tape. And who ain't got nothing and no proof to prove that they could pay. Easily they get it and they go.
Right. And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. It's wrong and bad. And I don't care, you know, Devon. I don't care who you be, you know. Me tell you plain out, you're wrong, you know. I'm going now, but here it is. I had two friends. Me and one of them used to be together every day. And we used to ride bike. And one of them was just a casual friend. Well, anyway, they happened to borrow something from me. One borrowed $5 and one borrowed $3. And every day we watching one of them and we just say, aye man, right. And I get vexed and I give them a lawyer, you know. And I had to pay the lawyer the $5 and the $3 what he told them borrow from me. But me had to pay the lawyer said, man, me ain't charging you for that. It's the principle. And we ain't fall out. They say, man, why you do that, man? I say, yeah, man, I had to do it, man, because you ain't have no ambition. And you just watching me and you're making more money and me, you ain't saying nothing. Come on, people, straighten them out. Anyway, they're around this time now.
All right.
Because you got one.
All right, Carla, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 17 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour, and you're listening to Voices right here on WinFM 98.9. The phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. For those of you who may have missed the portfolios that have been distributed at Sunday's ceremonial inauguration of the Nevis Island administration, I'll just share that with you. So the ceremonial inauguration of the Nevis Island administration was held Sunday, December 18, 2022. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, the Nevis Island Assembly member-elect for St. John, and head of the Concerned Citizens Movement-led administration, took the oaths of office, allegiance, and secrecy, and is responsible for finance, statistics, economic planning, human resources, industry, trade and consumer affairs, tourism, public utilities and energy, foreign investments, government information, and Nevis television. The Honorable Eric Evelyn, member-elect for St. George, was sworn in as the Deputy Premier and Minister with responsibility for agriculture, lands, natural resources, fisheries, cooperatives, culture, and housing. The Honorable Spencer Brand, the Member of Parliament-elect for St. Paul, is the Minister with responsibility for communications and works, water services, physical planning and environment, posts, labor, and disaster management. The Honorable Troy Liebert affirmed the oaths of office, allegiance, and secrecy, and as a nominated member of the cabinet, he is a senator with ministerial responsibility for education, information technology, library services, youth, and sports. The Honorable General Nisbet also swore the oaths of office, allegiance, and secrecy. And as a nominated member of the cabinet, Senator Nisbet has ministerial responsibility for health, gender affairs, community affairs, and social services. Now, all the ministers signed their instrument of appointment, along with Her Honor, Hailita Liber, the Deputy Governor General on Nevis. The oaths were administered by High Court Judge His Lordship Justice Patrick Thompson. Nisbet, General Nisbet, she replaces Hazel Brandy Williams, who was the nominated member, I think, from 2013 up until this election. And Hazel Brandy Williams, she was responsible for the same ministries, health and gender affairs. And I think in the first term, she had responsibility for social development and community affairs and all of that. Troy Liebert is returning as a junior minister. He was first sworn in as a junior minister in 2013. And Evelyn is now the deputy premier, as Alexis Jeffers was not successful in his election in the St. James Nevis 4 district. The opposition is headed by the Honorable Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge of the NRP, and she will be joined by the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons. And they are expected to name their nominated member, as there are now 2 elected representatives on the opposition benches in the Nevis Island Assembly. It is 1:22, and you're tuned into WINNFM 98.9 for another edition of Voices right here on WINNFM. It is Monday. It is Christmas week. I can't believe December is over already. By the time you look around, we'll be celebrating the new year, new opportunities, new blessing. New things are coming into our lives. And so for the Christmas season, I just want to, on behalf of all of us here at WINNFM, wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. All the best for the holiday season and a very bright and prosperous new year. Enjoy the Christmas season. Well, in this case, Christmas and Carnival. Don't party too hard. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink too much. But you have a good time. Let's take our final call for this afternoon. Caller, good afternoon. You are our final call for the program today.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It is something that came to my mind. I think some couple of years ago, some people, it was, talked about, and I remember making a contribution to it a couple of years ago in terms of rejected members, who ran and lost, right? I am one of those persons who believe that when a person lost, I think they should be given ministerial position. They have in some countries, I know Antigua, I think St. Lucia, and some other places, candidates who lost can still be ministers, you understand? It's according to their constitution. So I think that it is something that I think the Federation should look at. Because, as I said, some country, they do it. You understand? Where a rejected member can still, come to the Senate and, be a minister. Because one time, I think when I listened to the program, and the argument was, if you lost, you lost. It means the people don't want you. You understand? But I don't believe in that. Because, no, Mr. Cornelius, if myself and you ran in a constituency and you tally 1,500 votes, I tally 1,300 votes, you beat me by 200, you become the representative. So how people could say the people don't want you when a vast majority of people still voted for you? And the reason where I base my argument is you're going to bring in a nominated member who nobody voted for. You see the point I'm making?
That's a very good point there, Carla.
You're going to bring in somebody who nobody voted for. But even though I lost, I still tally 1,300 votes. You see what I'm getting at? So probably, maybe in the coming days, this is something people can really look at. Because, I like Alexis Jeffers, they said he has been a very good minister in the Nevis Island administration. You understand?
Yes.
Now, he lost last Monday. If the Constitution in St. Kitts Nevis did allow that, he could have still been a part of the Nevis Island administration. You understand? So it is something I think people need to look at. That's my contribution.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. Very interesting contribution there, and a conversation that I think would be interesting to have in the, let me say, not so distant future. But that's a very interesting conversation. I think what people are looking at is the outcome of it. They probably just tell themselves, well, you lost. And so they are not looking at the amount of people that voted for you. They are just looking at the fact that you lost. And so immediately they have put you in the rejected category. And on that basis, on that grounds, they're saying, because you were rejected, you should not be a member of the cabinet. But your point is an interesting one. Yes, you didn't win, but you got 1,300 people, or whatever the number is, just trying a reference. You got this amount of people to vote for you. Meanwhile, the nominated member, nobody voted for you at all. That's a very good observation and point that you have made there, caller. But I think what they're looking at now is, well, you didn't win, and so you shouldn't be a member of the cabinet. Perhaps they can stick around to give advice, especially if they were a hard-working minister, and there are certain initiatives that they were seeking to roll out in the next 5 years. They can say, okay, this is what I had intended to do if I was to be re-elected to office. And so I would kindly suggest that you continue this or whatever. Guys, it is 1:30, and let me say thank you so much for your contribution to this program for Monday, December 19, 2022. Until next time, you stay safe. Continue to enjoy the rest of your Monday, and take care.
You found the sound, 98.9 FM.
Hola everybody! Here's your Value Mart IGA Value Club Holiday Specials running December 15th to December 28th. Essential Everyday Ketchup $4.99. IGA and Essential Everyday White Vinegar $5.99. Special Case Cereals $15.49. Essential Everyday Shredded and Chopped Cheeses $7.99. Lay's Stack Chips $6.49. Old Orchard 100% Apple Juice $9.99. And now, a very low weekly value deals. Nabisco Chips Ahoy, $15.99. Post Grain Cereals, $14.99. Essential Everyday Oats, Quick and Old Fashioned, $13.99. Nature Valley Granola Bars, $10.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $6.49. Almond Hammer Deodorant, $7.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Everybody, Feliz Navidad!
WINN is 98.9.